Hey guys, Don Miller here. Um, what I've done, hey, no word from the peanut gallery, go sit down. What I've done is I've fitted a U28B with a older Thurn motor. One of the ones normally comes in an SD or an FP45. And I guess some of the other older engines too. I rebuilt this one, I cleaned it up, I put new brushes in it, and it made a big difference. This thing flies around the track. And you can't see it from here. I guess I better not do that. I was going to show you how I have it set up. On the bottom strip, which should be this one right here, I have 3 wires coming off of this. Alright? I have one on one end, one on the other end, actually, and 2 on the other end. The 2 that are on the closest side to the brush spring, that has 2 wires on it. One wire goes to the side of this truck on the left side, and the other wire goes to the left side on this one. Okay? And what that does is that is the ground side or the outside rail of the track. So that's your ground. The top one goes to the top of the truck on the L bracket. Okay? And then the third wire goes to a screw that I put in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a screw right there, and I put that screw into the frame. I drilled the frame, and if you see the bottom side, there's the hole right there that I drilled in the frame. I drilled the frame, I put the screw in there, and then what I do is I solder the third wire to the top of that screw. And what I'm doing now is I just got done installing my LEDs in there. You can see up inside there, I've got my LEDs inside the nose and the Mars light. And what I'm going to do now is solder this wires. The side that doesn't have the resistor is going to go to positive up here on the top. And I do it further back so all this wire doesn't get tangled up. So let me do that now. I'm going to put this right here and just solder it to that. Oops. Now it doesn't want to hold. Go figure. Okay, there it is. Well, it was there. There it is. Okay. So I soldered it on there, let it dry or get cold. Once it's cold, it'll stick. Okay, there goes that. Now, the other one, I've got to untangle it a little bit. Let me untangle this wire a little bit. This wire, which is the resistor wire, goes to the ground side. So I'm going to set this right on top of the motor, on top of that screw. And I got to hold it there by hand because if I don't, it'll just come undone. So what we do is we put this just like that. So you can see me here when I do it here in just a minute. Just see what it looks like when I get done. Okay, I'm going to hold that like that right there. Put a little heat to it. I have to hold it because if I don't, it'll just separate. There you go. That's it right there. It's done. That should be out right there. Okay, that got it. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is for Kevin Copley. He wanted to know about this. And I'm going to try to take the camera out of there because I want you to see this easier. So you can see how I got it done. Oops. That's my dog in the background there. Alright. Kevin, as you can see, this right here is the ground wire. That's the little stud sticking out right there. So the ground wire, you can do it that way, or you can attach that ground wire to just to the bottom of the strip. Let me see you show it here real quick. There's that right there. You can attach to the bottom of the strip. Just make sure the prongs are in contact with the bottom of the frame. Okay? And once you have that done, what we're going to do now is put the frame back on. Frame goes back on. Everything's together. Get the frame to snap. There it goes. Just snap. Alright, now I'm going to put the frame, I'm going to put the engine on the track. Alright guys, here we go. See if we can get a good look at this now. It should light up. There it goes. See that? Now this motor flies. I'm going to tell you what. Alright, let me start over again. Okay, going back. Okay, the thing you'll note about this, is that the lights do not come on when this engine is in reverse. And I'm going to show you here. You look at it, there's the front of it. The lights are not on. Okay? Now let's hook up to the cars, to the engine. This motor does great. I was really surprised it did as well as it did. Alright, now, going forward, there we go. See the lights on, it looks good. Plenty of power. There it goes. Give you a better shot of it over here. Going around, coming around and around. Come through the tunnel. There it is. All of it's on. See that? Looks good, doesn't it? Alright. You stop it. It's a simple hookup, Kevin. The wire that has the resistor goes to ground. The wire that doesn't, let me put you back in the thing here. Back in the vise. Hang on to that. Okay. Alright. Give you a better view of this. Okay. Get you out of there. Just like that. Okay. Now. Alright. The wire. Oh, we go. Well, Caddy won't be steering me now. Alright. Here it is. That's the stud right there. The stud I tapped the frame with. I'm going to turn on the bottom side here. You'll see the hole right there on the bottom. You see that hole? Right? You can barely see it, can't you? Let me see if I turn it up like this. Well, you can barely see it on here. That's for sure. There it is, right there. See that hole right there on the bottom? That's the hole that goes to the stud. Okay? And what that does is that makes for a much better, a much better ground. That really makes a big difference. And if you get that in there, I'm going to pause it for just a second. Okay, so if you look right here, there's the stud right there. There's the stud on the bottom side. See that hole right there? That's where I drilled it. And what I drilled that with is a 1/16 bit. Okay? And what I did was I rebuilt this old Thurn gray motor with the steel case and the steel flywheels. And this thing flies around that truck. I cannot believe how much power it's got. But there's what the LEDs look like on the inside, Kevin, right there. Alright? So you see your reds, I use red. Red indicates they're positive, but there's no resistor. This goes to the top of the truck right there. Your ground wire goes right there to that stud. If you look right inside there, Kevin, you see that wire right there? That is soldered to the side. That is a ground wire that comes underneath the frame. And that's all you got to do. It's a simple process. You're just going to do 2 wires, just like this. Just like that. There's going to be a 3rd wire on there that's going to under the bottom of the motor. Peg, what are you doing?